Welcome back, guys. Today's topic is about the 7 rules of success. Let's discuss. Rule number 1, you have to show up. Simple as that. In life, in business, actually, in anything you do, there's always going to be something that needs your attention. And it's important that you have to show up. You cannot run away from a problem. You cannot run away from something that needs to be addressed. You have to show up. Whether your goals are internal or external, life is about surmounting and accomplishing small little conquests. And if you don't show up, then there's nothing for you to accomplish. The big definitive line here is the difference between people who are able to self-motivate and people who are not. Because the truth of the matter is that at some point, sometimes we don't want to do stuff that we don't want to do. We want to lay on the couch and do nothing all day, or I'm so tired, I'll do it tomorrow. Sometimes you don't have the luxury. So you have to show up when it's time to show up, and you have to fight. Rule number 2, you have to walk the walk. There is no way that you can just pretend to be what you're not. You have to walk the walk, right? You cannot be preaching about authenticity and good faith if you are a horrible person and a liar, right? So it's important that you walk the walk. People judge you, but not by your appearance, but by your actions. And also by your ability to deliver. It's important. It's important that you, as a potential leader, your huge competitive advantage is your ability to lead. And in order to lead, you have to walk the walk. I certainly will not follow someone who is not about what they preach. Do you know what else people judge you on? Or how nice you are. Oh, wait, and also your tone of voice. Yeah, seriously. How nice you are and how nice you sound. The definitive factor on this point is you need to also be able to protect what you built, right? There is no point in having this success if by tomorrow it can all just be taken away from you. So it's important that as you go ahead and preach what you preach, practice what you preach, that you are also very conscious and aware that you need to be able to protect what you're building. That is very difficult, and not everybody is able to do that, right? We are always one decision away from disaster, and your goal is to make sure that that doesn't happen. Point number 3, mind your own business. I can recall how many times people have told me, Alistair, while you're starting your business, there's plenty of personal trainers out there. You're never going to make money. You're never going to have clients. It's too many. The market is saturated. The truth of the matter is that you have to focus on you. You cannot start comparing and contrasting you with Joe and Jason and all these people. It's important that you tunnel vision into you. Okay, you have to mind your own business because your story and Joe's story and Jason's story are different. Okay, and you're all of different people with different things to offer. And so if you start concentrating and focusing on other people, you're never going to move forward. Focus on yourself. Put all your energy on yourself because energy is not infinite. Energy is finite, and you don't want to waste it on people that don't even know who you are, right? Focus on improving you and what you offer. You want to play life by your own strategy. You have to create a strategy based on what fits you. Another thing also to keep in mind, and especially here in today's age, is that people equate success with the number of followers, number of likes, and although there's some truth to that, it is wrong to put your focus on that. Because that number of followers and number of likes does not equate how much money you have in the bank. It does not equate how successful you are. It does not equate how much influence you're truly having, right? So it's important not to get so depressed because you don't have 1,000 followers and maybe your competitor has 200,000 followers, right? But maybe they're not selling as much. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind. Number 4, you want to keep your friends close. You want to keep your friends within reach, but not too close, okay? And what do I mean by that? So a lot of times the people in our inner circle or inner orbit have the most influence in our well-being, our mental well-being, and also who we are, right? Our emotions. And it's important that you select very carefully who you let inside the inner orbit, right? I'm not saying throw all your friends away, but only a select few should be in that inner orbit, because they have the most potential to cause damage. Remember, you are the king of your ship. You're the leader of the flock. You need to be well rested, thinking very well, to lead your crew. And you don't want to have distraction from close friends, from a spouse to come in and really affect your emotional state. And that can absolutely and definitely lead you to a depressive path, into destruction. And you could start potentially unraveling all the success you've made. And you don't need validation from that circle. That circle do not validate your success, okay? Don't give them too much power. The only person that can validate your success is you, right? You and your achievements are the only thing who are responsible to validate your success, okay? Your best friend might say, Alistair, I don't know, that's not a good idea. You shouldn't have done that. Fine, it's their opinion. But your success, your strategy, your validation is all that matters in your journey of being successful. Number 5, understand that by having even a slight advantage can actually make a huge amount of difference. And I say this a lot, you don't need to reinvent the wheel completely. You don't need to go ahead and change the whole process. All you need is just one small different point that is advantageous, and then you can just skyrocket and fly. I'll give you an example in my case. As a personal trainer working in the gyms, the business model of gyms is on membership. The gym I was working at, it was all about giving free training, free this, free that, free this. And so what happened is just a lot of trainers starting to just become a little burnt out. The competitive advantage that I had was to create a homework system. My time was very valuable, and I was not really thrilled to give free things all the time, right? And so I created a homework system, and it was like, look, here's my schedule, here's where we're going to train. Anything outside of that, if you want some guidance and help, here's a homework system that you can do this on your own. And so what that did is it freed up my time, okay, and allowed the client to have some sort of guidance outside of me. And so it made it so they didn't need to constantly come in for feedback and check-ins, which in turn is very time consuming, right? And it was a win-win situation, and it gave me an edge. It gave me an advantage. You don't have to think about changing the whole thing. Just find out something that is lacking, and that you can turn that into your advantage, or find something within you that makes you you, and then you can turn that and monetize it and make it an advantage, right? It's all up to you, but it's important to understand that for number 5, all you need is a small advantage, and it can change the game for you. Number 6, you really want to control your emotions. And it's important that you also operate on the foundation of integrity. Clients, people, individual, they can definitely be fooled and they can be conned, but most of them cannot be conned repeatedly and all the time, right? A lot of people out there are smarter than you think. And so it's important that you operate on the basis of integrity. Trust is very fragile, trust breaks very easily, and trust hardly ever gets built back up again. You need to have integrity 120%. That is something that's not compromisable. You need to have good character. You need to have integrity. And the second thing is you need to control your emotions. You cannot act on impulses. Everybody's going to annoy you. Something is going to come in, it's going to completely disrupt everything. You're going to have fires to take out. Remember, you are the leader of your ship. You need to be clear-headed at all times. You have to control your emotion and understand it's not human, and understand you are human. And so it's going to be very hard for you to do that. But that is the difference between success and failure. You need to have control of your emotions at all times, because you need to be able to see it clearly, take a step back, take a deep breath, and operate and function like a grown-up. You cannot be a child. You cannot have a tantrum. You just cannot. It's something that's not going to be forgiven in a world of interaction with other human beings. Number 7 is the burden of success. A lot of people have this idea that success is like, I just walk in and do this and do that, and I get all this money, and all I do is sleep all day, and I go to the south of France, buy my house, and just have coffee in the morning. And you are sadly mistaken if you think that success means just nothing. There's no such thing as passive income. There's no such thing as being successful and that's it. That doesn't exist. What people don't tell you, and if someone tells you this, that means they're not successful. What you need to understand is that with the struggle that comes with getting success, there is double the amount of struggle to maintain what you got. Remember the point when I mentioned you need to be able to defend what you built? That takes a lot of energy. You need to make sure that your bills are paid on time. You need to make sure that your numbers are kept up. You need to keep up with your clients. You need to entertain relationship. You need to be able to see the dangers that's coming. You need to be able to understand the market. You need to be able to pivot. You need to be able to so many things just to have a status quo. It is so much work. You're the CEO, CFO. I mean, you're the captain of the ship. Everybody relies on you. Everyone depends on you. You cannot sleep. You cannot rest. You need to always be thinking of better ways to do business, more efficient ways to do business. It is a lot of work. It's a huge burden. Another thing you'll notice is that the more success you have, the harder it is to actually stay true to number 6, stay true to controlling your emotions, because you'll be in a constant state of being overwhelmed. And the more important it will be for you to carve out rest. You need to be more in tune with your mental health and take a step back to recharge. And of course, because you stuck around this long, there is a bonus. Number 8, when you become successful, and as you increase your level of success, good advice becomes very difficult to come by. Matter of fact, good advice becomes so rare that you hardly ever get any. And the reason why is because of this, right? Once you get to a certain level of success, you're surrounded by people that are similar in level, and those people have gotten there most likely on their own volition, on their own wits, on their own strategies, and so their advice wouldn't suit you well because you guys have different strategies, and also they're probably minding their own business, and so should you. So there's very rarely a situation where there's an exchange of ideas, and even if there is, the situation is so different than yours that sometimes you cannot implement all these ideas into your situation. And so it's a weird catch-22 where like you can't really express, they can't really express, and if that happens, you cannot extract anything valuable out of it because their situation is different than yours, right? And so you are essentially left to your own devices, and that's going back to the burden of success. That is very difficult. It's very hard because you have no one to bounce ideas off. And if you do have someone to bounce ideas off, they can give you all the advice you want, but they are not the one who is going to survive or live with the consequences of this advice, right? And therefore, can you trust it? Well, thank you so much. I try not to ramble too much in those videos, but sometimes when I have ideas, I like to share and speak with you, and hopefully those my experience and my thought process can help you into getting to where you need to go, right? Please comment and let me know below. If you got to the last part, let me know below what you thought of point number 8. And subscribe, like, comment, and see you next time.